The 16-count grand jury indictment of actor Jussie Smollett relates to allegations that he lied to police about a reported attack in January. It breaks down to 8 counts for what he told a police officer and 8 more for what he later told a detective.
We're learning that he could get up to 3 years in prison if he's convicted. He has not yet entered a plea on the current charges. He is pleading not guilty on the original charge.
Smollett has denied that he staged the attack.
President Trump, touring tornado damage in Alabama by air earlier today, said he's, quote, seen things you wouldn't believe. On the ground, the president and first lady spoke with survivors and visited a memorial honoring the 23 people killed last weekend in Lee County.
Well, I saw this. It's hard to believe, actually, and I guess the fact that we went very early helped a lot of people, but we saw things that you wouldn't believe.
The president is now at Mar-a-Lago.
New images now show ISIS fighters surrendering by the hundreds as U.S.-backed troops tackle the terror group's final stronghold in Syria.
The head of U.S. Central Command has warned against early celebrations. General Joseph Votel called surrender a calculated decision to preserve their capabilities, and that ISIS could be waiting for the right time to resurge.
Former Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning has been jailed for refusing to testify to a Virginia grand jury investigating WikiLeaks.
The president spoke briefly about his former campaign chair, Paul Manafort.
I feel very badly for Paul Manafort. I think it's been a very, very tough time for him. But if you notice, both his lawyer, a highly respected man, and a very highly respected judge, the judge said there was no collusion with Russia. It's had nothing to do with collusion. There was no collusion. It's a collusion hoax. It's a collusion witch hoax.
White House Communication Director Bill Shine is stepping down. President Trump accepted Shine's resignation last night. Shine says he will continue to support the president's agenda and looks forward to serving as a senior advisor on the 2020 re-election campaign.
The House of Representatives has passed a sweeping election reform package. It also creates automatic voter registration and requires presidents to turn over their tax returns. In a Republican-controlled Senate, it won't come up for a vote.
H.R. 1 restores the people's faith that government works for the public interest, the people's interest, not the special interest.
A sudden pullback in the pace of hiring across the country. The Labor Department says employers added just 20,000 jobs last month. Experts have been expecting closer to 180,000. In the past 3 months, the average has been around 186,000. Brexit may be about to come completely undone. British Prime Minister Theresa May has just said that if lawmakers reject her Brexit plan in a vote on Tuesday, Britain, quote, may never leave the European Union.
Either we leave the EU with no deal on the 29th of March, I don't believe that would be the best outcome for the UK or the EU, or we delay Brexit and carry on arguing about it, both amongst ourselves and with the EU. And that's not in our interests either.
Police in Bremerton, Washington say a carjacker suspect ran into the gates at the naval base Kitsap with his 5-year-old daughter in the car while high on meth. Police say the suspect then crashed the truck and was screaming about planting bombs and building tunnels. Both the girl and suspect were taken to the hospital. In Florida, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says 5 people have been killed in a twin-engine Piper plane crash north of an airport. They say all 5 bodies have been recovered and both the FAA and NTSB are investigating.
Back on Earth after a mission to the International Space Station.
And there we have confirmation of splashdown.
That audio from NASA after the Dragon crew capsule from SpaceX hit the Atlantic this morning. The capsule is being tested and could eventually carry humans to the space station.
The U.S. women's national soccer team is suing the U.S. Soccer Federation over gender discrimination. The players say they've been consistently paid less money than their male counterparts.
It is International Women's Day, and this morning Duchess Meghan is getting a big honor, becoming the Vice President of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. Her role will be to support and connect young leaders, particularly girls and women around the world, to help them drive positive social change and serve their communities.
Maryland's Court of Appeals deals a blow to Adnan Syed, the man whose trial and conviction were documented in the podcast Serial. The court agrees that Syed's defense was lacking, but disagrees that he should get a new one.
Comedian Whoopi Goldberg revealing a personal health scare.
Here's what happened. I had pneumonia, and I was septic. And yes, I came very, very close to leaving the earth. Good news, I didn't.
The View co-host, who had been missing from the show for a month, sharing the news in a video to fans, saying she hopes to return to the show very soon.
Officials in Reno announcing they've received approval from the FAA to begin flying drones equipped with defibrillators on board, or AEDs. J.W. Hodge is with REMSA, Reno's ambulance provider. He says there will be drone bases around Reno. When somebody calls 911 with a possible heart attack, a drone will be launched while a dispatcher gets an ambulance rolling.
When they're on the phone with you, they are able to say there's a drone on the way.
The FAA says it will allow the drones to be flown out of the pilot's line of sight and at night.
I'm ABC News meteorologist Dan Peck with today's weather headlines. A major storm will be taking shape tonight over the center of the country, bringing a variety of significant impacts this weekend. By tomorrow morning, heavy snow and gusty winds will be overspreading the upper Midwest, with whiteout conditions possible throughout the day. To the south, heavy rain and strong thunderstorms will be developing from the southern plains into the mid-Mississippi Valley. The storm system will continue to push eastward throughout the day tomorrow, with severe thunderstorms threatening cities such as Memphis and Paducah. Damaging wind gusts, large hail, and a few tornadoes are possible across the threat area. Meanwhile, the heavy snow will continue to fall from the central Rockies into the upper Midwest, with more than a half a foot of snow expected in some areas. By Sunday morning, the storm will be moving into the Great Lakes. However, a period of rain and snow will also impact portions of the Northeast before it all clears out later in the day.